Good evening, everyone. So let us start our Ognon class. We were studying with the ideal cure, aphorism 1 to 4. In a voyage, we started with the aphorism part, the text section of the Ognon, after completion of the author's introduction. And in the last 2-3 classes, we discussed about aphorism 1 and aphorism 1 footnote. The ultimate point is that we all can, without any debate, without any kind of questions, unanimously feel like that what is with the aphorism 1 is we all are really okay with that. But then when the point of footnote comes, though we are unanimous that this should not be our mission, but then so much of the knowledge already collected regarding the internal processes of the vital force, now is the time to really come up that the whole that knowledge, whole that internal process of the knowledge is not really just without any experience or without any experimentation. They also have certain kind of substantial things in that. Though it is not really very much helpful towards the cure. So, what best we all can unanimously resolve, whatever may be the available knowledge, and what is to be attained, that is the understanding of the phenomena, the knowledge related to the phenomena. We need a proper balance of it. We need a synergistic way of doing things, going ahead synergistically, that what is good for the patient should be adopted. That is the whole idea, what I feel. So it is going to be always a point of learning for us. And the only yardstick can be whatever we are studying. We must gauge it. We must find out how we are studying, how it is going to be useful towards the path of cure. But some of the knowledge they may teach us. See, there are many diseases, many diseased situations which we actually adopt by training. Anything, any health disorder, any problem adopted by some kind of training, what we call it simply habit. It is generally seen that because of any training, because of any uh, habit, we cannot always say that this habit is a disease. Or even if that has become a disease, the major part is how to de-learn this knowledge, how to de-learn, how to de-mind all that. So that is another one very important situation when the available knowledge may be helpful. So let us be cautious. Keep in mind that whatever the available knowledge, we need to find out how it is going to help the patient, either towards the cure or towards the managing the case. So this is in a very nutshell, we were able to discuss about aphorism 1 and aphorism 1 footnote. And we finally learned that our mission is this and our mission is not this. We are to see, we are to move on always towards the patient, betterment of the patient in a very, very minimum time. We cannot say that the vaccine will take 1 year to come. And moreover, in homeopathy, we should not say patient is sick, and we shouldn't say, all right, I will take 1 day to repertorize your case. We need to learn the case, we need to learn the working, that we should be able to do things as fast as possible in the right direction. So let us go further, and we start with aphorism. Having learned that this is my mission, that is mission cure. After really knowing the mission cure, it is not enough that this is my mission. Then in the mission, what is your thought that what should be the best outcome? What should be the final outcome of this mission? How can we define? See, the best thing is Hahnemann is so meticulous writing his aphorisms. He gives you very, very clear-cut definitions, criterias, and the right exact move which is essential to be taken, which is essential to be done. So first he said that if you are really having the idea that you are not just doing the job of physician as a part-time job, it is actually a full-time job, and more a job, it is more a thought, more a all the time movement, and there is no other thing to do, there is no other thing to think. But then what exactly this thinking should be? Then you define it as that what should be the idealism of the mission. Hence the aphorism 2 came in the being. He says, he goes like this. Hahnemann says, the highest ideal of cure is rapid, gentle, and permanent. He is writing 3 words. Mind it. Rapid, gentle, and permanent. Restoration of the health, or the stress is from my side, or removal and annihilation of the disease in its whole extent, in shortest, most reliable, and most harmless way, on easily comprehensible principles. And on the word principles, the appendix sign comes for the purpose of telling us about the complete evolution of this aphorism, how and which edition started and all. We'll just have a glimpse and go. So the understanding of this is, Hahnemann is saying that what should be the quality of the cure you're doing. You cannot really say that patient came with the simple cold and coryza and I took some 5 years to make it all right. Is it anybody can accept that? That means that in the understanding of quality of cure, timeline is a very, very important factor. Maybe acute disease, maybe chronic disease. And not from the point of view of the patient only. It is the important factor. Timeline is an important factor from the patient side, from the doctor side also, from the physician side also. It's a very simple, immediate thought that if somebody is coming with a fever, you and me as a doctor will think that it should be all right in hours or in days. And days does not mean some more than 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Days, when we say, that means that some 2, 3, 4 days, it should be all right. And almost on these lines, our patients are also expecting so. And for any chronic condition, when patient comes to us, most of the patients, they sit and they first of all wish to know that I am suffering, say, with vitiligo. Can you tell me for how long it will take to be all right? I am suffering with psoriasis. Can you tell me how long it will take to be all right? Even the conditions which are known, which are only indicating towards the imminent death, like somebody comes with the cancer, even if he is asked what are your expectations, he will be also trying to know that tell me if I can be all right. And if you say all right, you will be okay, you are curable patient, then the next question will be how many days? My point is, what is really justified, what is not really justified, in which condition it is justified, in which condition it is not justified. This is not the point of discussion. The point of discussion is when you talk about the quality of cure, the question of timeline is mandatory. So we can say yes, uh, the acute condition should take a lesser time. The chronic condition can take bigger time. Uh, Here also, the patient and the doctor both are on the same page. That yes, yes, we understand. We are not expecting that psoriasis should be all right in a week time. So, point is to understand, keep in mind that when there is a talk on quality of cure, if you really want to make some idealism regarding the cure, then timeline is very, very important. One. Then next point is regarding the gentleness, means the side effects. For example, if I say I have a medicine, you take it. This will cure you. But then it will have definitely this side effects, which could be in itself life threatening. Is this acceptable to anyone? Obviously not. Then the second point comes. First is timeline, second is safety, and the third point is when he says regarding the permanent, means patient come and ask you, all right, doctor Saab, you're telling me your disease will be all right. It will take or it may take this much of time. And any side effects? One. Third point, he says, all right, doctor Saab, no side effects. Very good. We know homeopathy has got no side effects. Then will it come back? You're giving me medication for vitiligo. I accept your treatment for 1 year. I am happy that I should be all right. Even 1 year, I will be very diligent in the treatment. But then, as you say, no side effect, I am happy. And the third point is, will it recur? It will come again, or it will be all right. That is once for all. These are the 3 points, that is timeline, safety, and the third is its permanency. It's no recurrence. These are the three very, very important essential points to define the quality of cure. And when you are able to define the quality of cure, then only you will be able to decide the idealism of it. I hope every one of you understand what is ideal. Ideal is something in which you find that somebody is at the best, at the fullest. But then when it comes to cure, these are the 3 points going to decide about the idealism of it. These are the 3 points going to decide. Like, for example, if we say somebody who pursue music, singing, if you ask, who is your ideal? The person may say, maybe if female singer may say, all right, my ideal is Lata Mangeshkar, or there are so many other name also. And similarly, if somebody is pursuing painting, they may say some very well-known name of painting person, that that one is my ideal. In homeopathic doctor, I want to be the most ideal homeopathic doctor. I can take the name of my sir, all right. I wish that I should be able to match to the level of such and such doctor. I may say, like, I may able to really think and practice like Dr. Elim Khan. This is what is the concept of idealism. And one more very important thing, anybody, they may think to be like Lata Mangeshkar, to be like Dr. Elim Khan, but then this is not possible. But then point is that that aspiration is very, very important. That aspiration is something really needed. But then in every case, if you are not able to meet that idealism, then it is not a cure. This is not the idea. He set the highest limit of it. He said anything. which is flawless, which is the best, what could be the height of it? Because he says the highest. He's not saying high. He's using the superlative degree of high. And regarding what? High is telling something about the other thing which we are in discussion. The discussion is the idealism. Of whose idealism? Idealism of cure. In that, the highest what it would be, it should meet three lines. What are those three lines? The timeline, the safety, and then permanency. When I say permanency, does not mean that you will not be falling sick again. That if suppose you and me, anyone treating a patient of vitiligo, as I said, or a psoriasis, there should not be a recurrence of it. If the recurrence is there, then it was not really meeting with the ideal of cure, highest ideal of cure. I hope you are really able to make the right understanding of the word ideal of cure, highest ideal of cure. In case you have any question on this, let us just discuss about it. So that when we are going further, here again in this aphorism, so many things which are debatable, and such debate is not only among students but amongst the learned professors of Ognon also in this. So, looking forward, your questions on this. In the meanwhile, if you're thinking any question, let me just give you the idea that when I say idealism, you can just take some more explanation on that. If you go in the uh, right etymological meaning of the word ideal, the ideal word has come from idea. Idea means a pattern. And here, when you talk about the ideal of cure, the pattern is made up of three threads. One thread is regarding the time, the second thread is regarding the safety, and the third thread is regarding its permanency. So, in this aphorism, we really have to understand the concept of idealism, then concept of ideal cure, then we are having these words rapid, gentle, permanent, and then we have the words whole extent, shortest, reliable, harmless, and the last portion, easily comprehensible principles. These are the important points to be understood. But before going into it, let us just have a glimpse in the appendix, that what appendix is saying to us about aphorism 2. So going in the appendix to aphorism 2, just simply one line. The first edition only adds in parenthesis rational system of medicine. That means this aphorism was there since the first edition. And in the first edition, at the end of the paragraph, in the brackets, Henman wrote rational system of medicine. But then from second edition onwards, he removed this bracket and whatever written in the bracket, rational system of medicine. I told you that in the first edition, the title itself of the book was with the word rational, which was from second edition onwards uh, removed. And almost anywhere Hanman used the word rational from the Ognon, he has removed all those. So going further, now let us try to understand. I tell you one more important thing. See, when you go in the understanding of the word meaning, there are numerous word meaning for one single word. What should be our point of view to pick and choose one for us? The right way would be we keep in mind that our concern is related to the medical science, medical art, homeopathic medical art, first of all. And we are working clinically, and the whole text developed clinically. So we should be remaining with our understanding regarding our foremost job, that we are the clinical homeopathic doctor. We are working at the bedside, and pertaining to that meaning is appropriate. Like rapid can have a many different meanings, and we have to think, can we apply, there is a timeline for a disease to be all right, but then can we apply rapid with chronic disease? When we say rapid, what is the meaning of rapid? Rapid is something the very fast. If you go into the etymology of it, what says, when you go in the etymology of the rapid, it means take by force. Like, if suppose you are to take somebody to somewhere holding the hand, it is like you are almost pulling that person. That is what the meaning of rapid, that somehow rapid is more telling you something, that something is happening to a patient. How can you do it very fast? Doing something by force means, what is my usual way of writing? Somebody is really pushing me that I should walk fast. I should be faster than my uh, natural speed. That means this word is more applicable for the kind of acute diseases. But then similarly, there is another word in the next line, when he says, shortest. What do you mean by shortest? Just see, you also see the etymology of it. Shortest. Shortest is the superlative word for short. So we should be seeing for the short. So it has got so many meaning. And one of its meaning, if you see, you will find it says of a short duration. In the word rapid, you are not allowing a short duration. You are actually trying to reduce that duration. That is what rapid means. But then in the shortest word, the timeline only, but then here you are only reducing the duration. You're only saying short duration is allowed. In the rapid, not allowed. This is the simple understanding of these two words. Now think, I am to apply regarding the medical science. Whatever we are just getting here, Henman has not said the homeopathic physician's high and only mission so and so, so and so. The homeopathic physician mission is not, no. He said for a physician. So whatever the aphorisms we are reading, up to many number of aphorisms, mind it, it is for any physician, whatever may be the stream. You may say, I am a this kind of doctor or that kind of doctor, but then definitely it applies to every kind of doctor, every kind of specialist, any kind of physician, homeopathic, Ayurvedic, allopathic, you name it, because in India we have a health administration of vertical type. Patients can pick and choose, I want only homeopathy. So here, Hahnemann did not discriminate because he feels this cannot be discriminated, this cannot be separate for any physician. So for everyone, whatever the situation of the disease is, in the acute condition, every acute condition has got a duration. How can we shorten that duration of the disease? Because that is only the real work for a physician to do. Because acute diseases will complete the duration and go away. And if suppose we are not reducing that duration, if we are not pulling away the disease, it cannot be called rapid. And this pulling away of the disease cannot be applied in the chronic conditions. So I think you are able to judge the point of view what actually Hahnemann wanted to say, and he said these important three words: rapid, gentle, permanent, shortest, most reliable, and these words he has used, keeping in some idea. I am coming to that. So you understood the meaning of rapid. When you go to the word meaning, to the etymological meaning of the word gentle, then gentle is pertaining to something very royal. When you say something very royal means then it must be adopting everything very, very gracious. When you are before, when somebody like a king is going to care you, you are sure that there'll be only care and no harm. The whole idea of using the gentle word, that when you are using certain medications, it should not be causing a slightest side effects. I'm giving you the medicine, but this medicine will cause a diarrhea for some 1 week. Every patient will be thinking twice, why should I have this kind of medicine for the fever? So this is the idea about the word gentle. And I told you the word permanent. Permanent is a word which means here that if suppose I am treating somebody for dengue fever, and if suppose that fever is all right, but then after some 1 or 2 days it is back. So now when you understand the word meaning of permanent, you will have an idea that anybody suffering with something, that disease, if properly treated, should not be really recurring. If suppose it remains, if suppose it recurs, if suppose it changes the face and come back, it is not the part of ideal cure. So now, what kind of restoration a ideal cure should have? Rapid, gentle, and permanent. Restoration of what? The health. We understood the word meaning of restore and the health in the aphorism 1. Then he is using the word here or. O-R, or. What is that meaning? Or means either this or that. Or means choose this or this. It's a kind of, you are finding some kind of options here. Regarding the ideal of cure, Henman has used the word or. It, with the understanding of the English sentence, we come to know that there are two thoughts regarding the ideal cure. Let us try to understand why two thoughts. If you really glean the whole writings of the Hahnemann, in the whole writing, the style is that he is always trying to address the person as a whole by using the word like sick, health, the whole organism, mind and body together. He is using words out of all this, whatever may be the writings of Dr. Hem. He is not using that liver of the person, kidney of the person, brain of the person. He is not using this way. His address is to the organism. His address is to the vital force. to the life energy. So when this is the whole idea, then he has another thought. He's addressing the diseases in its manifestation. Whether the manifestation, the presentation of the disease of acute or of chronic. We sometimes say there are two kind of diseases, acute and chronic, but Hahnemann never typed them as acute and chronic. Because if you very critically analyze, the acute disease is nothing but the transient explosion of sora. That means what? It is again the expression of the miasm. So ultimately, there is a connection between both. There is a relation between both. So you cannot make them two separate things. They are not two separate things. So let us not say diseases has got two types. They have two presentations. So when disease is presenting itself in the acute format, the ideal of cure should be rapid, gentle, permanent. And suppose if it is of chronic in presentation, then its removal and annihilation. What kind of it should be? It should be of, it should be in shortest duration, timeline, most reliable, using the word for gentle, and most harmless. These are the two things he is using the word and that is why most reliable and harmless way. It is actually for the word gentle. And for the permanent, he is using the word in the initial part in whole extent. Annihilation of the disease in its whole extent is regarding the permanent. So if we see the parts here, how we are finding for chronic condition, it should be in the shortest duration. It should be most reliable and most harmless. And the annihilation of the disease in its whole extent. Removal and annihilation of the disease in its whole extent. These are the points to be understood. These are the threats of the pattern. These are the criteria for deciding the cure, the ideal of cure, the highest ideal of cure. Now think if this makes sense. Some of the translators, some of the professors, they actually don't understand with the explanation with the word or and dividing the aphorism and their words for saying that this is for application on acute and this is applies on chronic. Like I tell you, the translation by O'Reilly is translating in this form. There, he is not dividing it separately. Maybe because the author, this book, this translator, is only translating it, and for the sake of translation, she cannot put her mind into it. What I am doing a kind of commentary. This kind of commentary here, I am just giving my ideas into that. When I put or anybody like me trying to write or speak commentary on the Ognon, it is always debatable and it should be debatable. And in fact, anybody's commentary, whether me or anybody else, is not really painting or influencing the Ognon. I must say that I am understanding the text of the Ognon in this way, and then everyone has to understand in their own way. This is my understanding. I am just telling every one of you. It is just the expression of mine only. It's the choice of the listener. Take it or leave it. It's a sheer wish of the listener, and there is no offense in it. Like I show you how this translator orally, she's translating it as the highest ideal of cure is the rapid, gentle, and permanent restoration of the health. That is, the lifting and annihilation of the disease in its entire extent in the shortest, most reliable, and least disadvantageous way according to clearly reliable principles in bracket inseeable. So in this translation, since she is a translator, so she is not putting her mind. She is using the word that is instead of the or. She's not using the word or. She's saying that is. So we have a debate on it. We may differ, but what is our ultimate purpose? Our ultimate purpose is to ultimately reach to a point that ideal of cure. We cannot decide like this. What should be the ideal of cure in dengue fever? What should be the ideal of cure in malaria? What should be the idea of cure in COVID 19? We cannot write this because then, in the areas where one's disease is not there, the text is obsoleted. If we simply say the disease express itself into two ways, either it is coming acutely, means very sharp symptoms, it is coming expressing with sharp symptoms, or it is coming with very slowly, very sneakingly, even imperceptibly. You can't even perceive very easily until otherwise you are a very sharp perceiver. So in this presentation only, if you are to decide that in any expression of acute disease, what should be the ideal of cure, and in chronic, what it should be. As orally translation she is using, that is, even that you can understand. Ultimately, you are able to treat acute diseases very successfully, very rapidly, without any side effects, and that disease is not coming back. The point is this, that this that is further explanation of achieving the permanence. How will you get the ultimate permanence? Point is, dengue should not come to you again and again. But then other different acute diseases are really coming upon to you. That means one permanency achieved, that dengue is not coming. But then different other acute diseases are visiting you. So, having the extension of the permanency, this is further said that is why this permanency, because you may correct one expression of the disease of one variety of acute disease, but then other varieties of acute diseases are visiting you. Why? Because already within you that miasm is lying, which keep on exploding repeatedly, and you get the acute disease again and again. If you really want that permanency, that this many of acute disease should not visit you, you have to extend the word permanent. How will you do that? When you are able to remove this miasm from you, and if suppose you are able to remove this miasm from you, one kind of permanency will come, that so many of acute diseases which were keeping on visiting you, they would not further visit you, or they will visit you very scarcely. And if suppose they are visiting, they will just simply visit and go, because there is nothing inside as to be called sora, so that it may cause any kind of complications. This is the whole understanding of the aphorism 2. And in the last, when he says regarding the easily comprehensible principles, you understand the word meaning of easily. Comprehensible means which is very easily understood. Comprehensible means something regarding the understanding. And principles are the maxims, principles are those basic criteria on which something is to be done. So simply we can say that any average intelligent person should be able to understand the basic fabric of the ideal of cure, should be having three thread for acute, three thread for the chronic, but then whole all this achievement can be done by applying certain laws. What kind of laws it should be? These laws should be easily understood to average intelligent person. I hope I am quite clear to you. Now the point is, the debate is, what are those what are those easily comprehensible principles? How many of they? When he says the word principles, so this is sure that it is definitely more than one. But then what are those? When we generally go and sit for the Viva exam, on asking this question, most of the students, they only tell the cardinal seven cardinal principles of homeopathy. And yes, I got the answer. Aditi says 7 cardinal principles. Now, let us, each one of us, judge how many of these 7 cardinal principles are easily comprehensible. They are principles, all right. But then, are they easily comprehensible? Law of similia, yes, easily comprehensible. But then, regarding the small dose, even the highest class of the scientists, they also criticize homeopathy for that because it's not comprehensible to them. Even anybody comes to you, and if you give simply 1 dose, 4 pills, he will say, this big of my body, this many small medicine will work. Not understood. Then, mism, easily comprehensible? Really? Even many of the disciples of Hahnemann could not understand. Many of us do not easily comprehend it, and many do not like, do not want to be talked about myself. So I am able to tell you about the concept of single medicine, dynamization, myism, vital force, and all these, whatever the cardinal principles, leaving one, rest all are putting homeopathy in the controversy, putting homeopath in the controversy. It is the controversy within the homeopaths. It is the controversy of homeopathy in the outside scientific world. Now think that the way you are thinking that should be the 7 cardinal principles, is this okay? No, this is not okay. How to find the answer? Very easy. Let's see. I would request every one of you just refer Aphorism 22. Open Aphorism 22. Not really required to go through the whole aphorism, that you can do it later, and when we are reaching here we will be consulting that. But then just to see the second last line, we can read it from above. The morbid symptoms are most readily, certainly, and permanently removed and changed into health by similar or opposite medicinal symptoms. Only read the bracket portion. According as experience shall prove whether the morbid symptoms are most readily, certainly, and permanently removed and changed into health by similar or opposite medicinal symptoms. Here is the answer. So, how many? It is only 2. You can make changes in the symptoms. Maybe they may give you health, they may not give you health. But then, most important thing is there are 2 principles only, out of which we can think. It is a matter of experience, experiment, and experience. That means you try either this or that, and there are no other principles to be comprehended, to be applied for the purpose of removing symptoms rapidly, permanently, and whatever all the words. Law of similia and law of contraria. And never ever now say all the 7 cardinal principles. The most erroneous idea in the whole arena of the homeopathic medical school, every student, every doctor keeping this in the mind. And the answer is within the organ. So you may have questions, but then you may clarify your mind very easily that whatever the cardinal principles are, only one, that is law of simile, and rest are in controversy. And within homeopathy even, how many of homeopaths are accepting there should be one simple single medicine at a time? Many do not agree. My point of view here is not to discuss this controversy. My point of view to discuss with you is, are we really able to comprehend? Hahnemann said the law should be, the principles should be comprehensible, easily comprehensible. So they are only two given in the brackets of Aphorism 22, that is law of similia and the law of contraria. And it is subject to the experiment and experience. Which one? That's why I said that Hahnemann is not really saying anything homeopathy, anything particular for a homeopathic doctor. Why? Because he is not talking here the practical part of the homeopathy. He is talking here the principal parts of the medical science and homeopathy. So first of all, he will say the principles, then he will say the practice, and then ultimately he will say that these are the principles. I have done these experiments. I have found these experiences. Out of these experiences, either the law of similia or the law of contraria going to decide that this is the law which is going to cure. So, in the practical part, let us learn how to apply law of simile in the cases. It's that simple. But my point is to say that, are you really with me that this is the right way of understanding aphorism 2, which is applicable for your exam, for your MCQs, for your clinical practice, even for your MD examinations? Just think, write me here. And with this starting of the aphorism 2, wherein today in this 1 hour we made an understanding about it, tomorrow a little bit more we can open it up. Like, we can understand each aphorism, each word. First of all, the word meaning, general English understanding, and the whole meaning of the aphorism in connection with the previous and the later on coming of aphorisms. Then we should be able to understand how it exactly applies to the medicine. Like, for example, giving a small example, when we say rapid in acute disease, I say, how shall we decide the rapid cure in the cases of infectious acute diseases? What should be the way of deciding this? We can do that. So, we will be trying to open up further regarding the understanding of ideal of cure in different conditions when we are going to catch up tomorrow, right? And now let us see so many comments. Sorry. So Aditi is saying, sir, jitni old diseases hongi, utna zyada time लगेगा. Yes, we discussed this point. Then Hima made a very important point. How rapid is possible in chronic disease, right? So I think whatever we discussed just now, that really makes sense for you. And again, she says, Hema, what is the Dr. Henneman's idea in this case? I tried to explain what I understand his idea. If you have anything else to say, yes, we can always talk on it. Then Aditi Kapoor says, suppose we had given medicine to a patient for coryza and it stops in 2 hours completely. How to confirm whether it's rapid or suppression? So I said that for infectious, how we will apply it, this ideal of cure, the understanding of the rapid, we will be discussing it in little more detail tomorrow. Then Dr. Sushil Gupta, very actually, it is Sushil Gupta wanted to, not really wanted to write something. It just happened by chance. Then Aditi told 7 cardinal principles, which I explained. Then Dr. Sushil Gupta is talking 153 aphorism. Yes, that is there. Then we have to understand first. We are just going step by step how the principles of homeopathy developed, how the laws for understanding medicine, true art, the practitioner of the true art, and understanding of the vital force, how the application of the medicines, how the interaction of natural diseases, how all that behave. That is to be understood. So I believe every one of you got some very different but then meaningful and very, very satisfying understanding for this aphorism number 2. There are some very important aphorisms. You can say aphorism 1 to aphorism 18. If we are able to understand these first, say, 20 aphorisms, it really solves lot many problems to understand the organon, to understand Hahnemann, to understand homeopathy, and to understand how will be you going to follow the practical part. It set the stage. It puts the foundation in us to understand the practical part. We will not be caught up in so many of confusing ideas if we clear things here. It's very simple. Now, once you are in a laboratory and the person who is the instructor for telling you how to do one experiment, if he is very clear and he is giving you a note also, explaining you also, do this step 1, step 2, step 3, it is almost in the similar manner. Hahnemann has written the very, very simple steps, baby steps. Go slow, learn it. So this is it for today, everyone. Thank you very much. I would look forward your questions, your ideas, your understandings, even the controversies. All are welcome. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you. Signing off.